In this video, we are going to take a look at the Victorinox Swiss Army knife, the Handyman. Let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kev Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Guys, I am super excited. This is the second video in a series I am doing on one of my favorite pieces of outdoor gear, and that is the Swiss Army knife. Guys, I have loved Swiss Army knives ever since I was a kid, and when I was 12 years old, I actually got to go to Switzerland with my parents and pick out my very own first Swiss Army knife, which is this Fieldmaster that I still carry to this day. But since I've had this thing since I was 12 years old and I'm now 44, you guys can do the math, I've started to think it's probably not a good idea to carry this in my pocket anymore. I don't want to lose it. My first Swiss Army knife is kind of a sentimental thing. Sometimes I get sentimental about gear, guys. It's weird. If you get sentimental about gear, drop some in the comments below. Let me know that I'm not alone and that I don't need to seek help, okay? But I decided that, number one, while this has a ton of features, it doesn't have everything that I want on it. And number two, I wanted to stop carrying it every day. I thought I would get something that I could easily put in a pack or a briefcase, you know, something that I could carry every day, something that had a sufficient number of tools to do all of the different things that I encounter. So I tinker a lot. I mess around with a lot of different things, whether it's, you know, camping gear, hiking gear, fishing gear, electronics. You know, my wife and I own a graphic design and web marketing business. I'm always on the go, messing around with cars and trailers and boats and all kinds of things. I thought it'd be really nice to have a Swiss Army knife that had more tools than the Fieldmaster, but wasn't too big that it was unwieldy, right? So like, some of the Swiss Army knives, you know, are just like crazy thick because they have every tool known to man in them. And while I think that's cool and a novelty, it just really isn't practical to me. So it's not something that I want. So as I was looking at the different Swiss Army knives out there, I settled on the Handyman as probably my everyday knife carry of choice. And so here it is. And that's how wide it is. So it's significantly wider than my Fieldmaster, right? But it's not that much heavier. I could throw it in my jeans pocket and carry it that way if I need to, or more likely it's gonna go in my laptop bag, my day pack, you know, that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's get into the different tools in this knife. Okay guys, so I'm going to try a top-down view here as I open up these different features, and we'll just kind of start from the side towards the logo and work our way back. So the first one that we have is the flathead screwdriver, bottle opener, and some people call this a wire bender, some people call it a wire stripper. There's a different use for this that I really like, and that's if you carry a ferro rod. This is a great spark creator on a ferro rod as well. And it locks at the 90 degree so that you can get good torque, or it locks all the way out. On the opposite side, you have your bottle opener and little flathead screwdriver. This also works in a lot of Phillips screwdrivers, guys. So, or a lot of Phillips screws, I should say. So that works really well. This does have a sharpened edge, so just be cautious a little bit. And it only locks out when it's fully extended. All right, the next one, and I'm really excited about these guys, are the pliers, right? I've never had a Swiss Army knife with pliers before, but I am excited about those. And I think even right in there is a small wire cutter. So, and I think even here you can actually even do some small wire crimping. So really nice laid out pliers. Next to the pliers are the scissors. And so this is the Victorinox style scissors. So if you don't know, there are two different Swiss Army knife makers. There was Victorinox and there was Wenger. Some people call it, it's actually called Wenger, but my wife's maiden name is Wenger. So I've always called them Wenger knives, even though it is supposed to be Wenger. But anyway, Wenger has a different style of scissors than Victorinox. So, but Wenger was purchased by Victorinox. And so some of the Victorinox knives have the Wenger style scissors and some have the Victorinox style. So this spring here is the Victorinox style scissors. These springs do wear out and break over time, but they're easy to replace. And I bought a 5-pack of springs not too long ago on Amazon for really cheap and put a new spring in my Fieldmaster. This is one of my favorite tools. This is the wood saw. And guys, if you need to just cut some little branches off or cut some small, tinder or something like that to start a campfire, this little wood saw works awesome. It is a great, great tool. Pretty much any Swiss Army knife I carry has to have a wood saw. Next to that is a new tool to me that I'm really, really excited about, and that is the metal saw and file. So occasionally I'm out cutting metal or a little, metal pipe or something like that, and I need to get a nice cut or I need to file something. There's files on both sides. So I'm really, really excited about that tool. I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of that one. As we keep going, the next one is the large blade, and it's I think they call this a drop point blade. I really like these blades, and they seem to hold up really well. They seem to hold an edge pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with my Victorinox blades. They do pretty well. And then the last tool on this side is the small blade. And I use these a lot for opening boxes and things like that. I kind of try to save my big blade, save the edge on the big blade for when I need it. And so I tend to use my small blade a lot. So my small blade needs to be sharpened more often than my big blade a lot of the time. In the standard configuration, this knife also has a little key ring. It has tweezers and it has a toothpick. Right? And there are some things that you can do, like if you want to replace the toothpick with a ferro rod, you can do that. We're actually going to do that on this knife. Eventually, I'm going to do a video on little upgrades. But let's go to the back side, right? So on the back side, you have the corkscrew. And I was a little bit disappointed that this knife does not ship with the little mini screwdriver that fits in the corkscrew. I thought that on a knife with this many tools, that it would be nice if they included that, but they did not. There's also a hole for a little pin, but this one does not come with the pin. You can get it if you want. And then let's see, the next one, let me actually get this one out. Yep. So this is the chisel. And if you need to chisel something out, it's a decently sharpened chisel. And I'm not going to demonstrate this on my antique wood table, but if I wanted to carve my name here, or if my kids wanted to carve their names in my wood table, first of all, I would tell you where you could visit their graves. But, if you wanted to, you could stick that in and then, carve stuff out. I've seen videos on this use. I've never used it. But it does seem to do, really, really well. So that's the chisel. The next one is another flathead screwdriver. And so that's nice if you, want to, get some decent torque. And it's a little longer, so that's nice. The next one is the parcel hook, right? And a lot of people are like, what is this for? Well, if you've ever carried packages that are tied with strings, right? And I'm not gonna sing the Sound of Music song, but if you've ever carried those packages, and especially the ones that are heavy, the twine just tears into your hand. So what you do is you open your parcel hook, you hook that on the twine, and then you can carry the package with the twine in the hook. That's the best use of the hook that I have seen, but anytime you might need a hook to hold something, you know, that's there. And then the last tool is this one here, which is the awl with sewing needle eye. So I actually used this on my Fieldmaster to put a new hole in my belt. So I can tell you that it works for punching leather. But yeah, it's a pretty decent tool. It's got a relatively sharp blade and it's curved so that when you stick it in, you can kind of ream out a hole. So that works really well. And then of course, if you needed to sew something like some canvas or something, you could attach two things together by putting some thread or something in that eye. Just be aware that this punches a big hole. So whatever you sew together, whatever you connect together is probably not going to be waterproof, because you're going to be putting some big holes in whatever it is that you're connecting together. But in a pinch, it works pretty well. So guys, those are the tools on the Victorinox Handyman. So guys, I'm really excited about carrying this as my everyday. I think the vast majority of these tools I'm going to use on a somewhat regular basis. I can think of in the last year a use case for just about every tool in this knife. And I am excited about adding a few accessories to this knife to kind of make it even more useful to me. So stay tuned for a video that I'm going to do in the future on adding accessories to Swiss Army knives to make them more field capable. So guys, that's it for the Handyman. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like Swiss Army knives as much as I do, let me know down in the comments below. Just tell me I love Swiss Army knives or something like that. Or tell me, what is your favorite Swiss Army knife? What Swiss Army knife do you carry every day? And what Swiss Army knife do you wish you could carry? There are so many different options, guys, and we're going to cover several of them here on Kemp Outside in the future, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and hit that little bell that notifies you when we release new videos so you don't miss a thing. Guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside. We exist to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. That's why we do these kind of gear reviews, to help you kind of make decisions about what kind of gear you want to take with you when you're doing your outdoor adventures. Guys, you can spend a whole lot of money on gear, so we try to do gear reviews to show you all the features, the pros and cons of things, so that you only have to buy your gear once, instead of buying something, testing it out, realizing it doesn't suit your needs, and then having to go buy something else. So, like I said, this is the second video in a series on Swiss Army knives. Guys, if you want to see my video on the nail clip 580, which is the first video I did of this little guy right here with the nail clippers, I'm going to put a link right up here where you can check that out. But we're going to be doing some reviews on a variety of Swiss Army knives here to come on Kemp Outside, because I just really like them and I think they're really handy. So if you have any questions, drop some in the comments below, or you can connect with us on our other social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. And again, I would love to know, what is your favorite Swiss Army knife? So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.